Hey everyone, welcome back to the Infinity Streaming Podcast. I'm Control, joined today as always by the lovely Charlie, Sarah, Riley. How are you guys doing?
Good, and you?
Good. Good.
Great, great, good to see you. Today's movie is called A Million Miles Away 2023, rated PG, runtime of 2 hours and 1 minute. And spoilers are ahead. But before we get started, guys, please join us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We are at Affinity Streaming Podcast. All right. A Million Miles Away, directed by Alejandro Marquez Abella. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime Video for Amazon Studios, starring Michael Peña. And it is a 88 critics, 96% audience, and a 6.4 on Film Affinity, released September 15th, 2023. Who's our resident space case? Charlie, since you're our astronaut in training here.
Yeah.
Go
I've
ahead,
been
give us
applying to NASA for
you're
3
playing in
years.
NASA.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us your general overview of this movie and get us kicked off here.
You know, from my experience applying to NASA, it's not really how it goes. No, I don't know. Like it was. I mean, I guess it's a good movie. I guess I was inspired, but it feels like such like a fluffed up movie. I don't know. Like all the characters feel so two dimensional, and like it's the most like generic lines. It's like so much like generic. Like you're gonna do amazing things. Oh, you're just so incredible, like over and over again. And
you are a force of nature. Nothing will stop you. Remember.
Then it's kind of over. And I don't know. I feel like if you have the right music, you can make eating like a sandwich inspiring. You know.
Yeah. Okay. No. I cried. Okay. It was very inspiring for me because it's like, yes, like I feel like a lot of people like struggle and you don't know like the background, and I feel like it's a good example like that you can accomplish anything if the stars kind of align, kind of thing. Because I feel like he was so lucky, like he had these parents that they were like supportive and giving everything to him. He was disciplined, so that was good, but that discipline came from going to work at 4 a.m. when he was a kid. Also the friends and the wife and family were so supportive, so I feel like everything was well rounded for him to like accomplish his dream. So, and I think all the bad part, I feel like they showed like so little, like the struggles, like we know that he worked hard, but I don't think that Adela, like the wife, was that happy all the time. Like she was like very supportive, and I don't believe that. I feel like a family with 5 kids,
Too many kids.
That's a lot of work. And they weren't rich. I don't know. She has also her dream. Like I think there was a lot going on, and I felt like a little like too pretty. Like I wanted to a more reality, maybe more. Of course, like I loved it. It was so inspiring, and I think I enjoy it. But I wanted a little more like the truth that is like hard. Like it's he was always fine. Like his face was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. He never like see him cry or struggle or doubt about himself. And I think like for during 30 years, I'm sure like you do like struggle and yeah, like doubt yourself. So I like it overall, but I wanted to see like more the real part, like both, like not just like the shinings,
like conflict.
Well, to your surprise, I agree with Sarah. I love the movie. I thought it was fantastic. I also like teared up twice in it. I thought it was great. I thought it was so inspiring. So like, yeah, they did a good job portraying this story. I thought the fact like just to comment on like the doubt and everything, I thought the fact that he like wasn't that like, I don't know, emotional when things like went wrong or when he didn't get accepted, I thought that was just like part of his like so determined and so everything in himself that it was like he wasn't gonna like, he was obviously upset about it, but he wasn't gonna let it shake him. He was gonna just stay focused and stay on the right track. Like I took that as part of his story and part of like who he was as a person. But
Yeah.
I thought it was a great movie. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good, but kind of more with Charlie on this one. It just seemed like very straightforward. Like I'm saying it was very straightforward, very cookie cutter. Hey, we need to make an inspiring movie, and they went down the checklist of what they had to add.
And like what Sarah, all the complaints Sarah had were the exact same complaints I have. Like literally, the exact same ones.
Yeah, it's a true story. It was great. It was good. It was a good movie.
And then I have to wonder, because this is based on the book he wrote, and it feels like it reminds me a lot of when I did a book report in like 3rd grade or 4th grade and kind of just do, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, because it kind of just has that feeling where it's like, his cousin died, and now he's back at training, and it's not going well, and then the Challenger thing, and then just one thing after another, just kind of, and it never really seems to carry through to like the next scenes where they don't really like mention it again.
I guess we should mention this is Charlie brought it up. It's based on the real life of Jose M. Hernandez, and it's like a biographical based on his autobiography called "Reaching for the Stars."
Yeah, I'm curious if he wrote it that way, where like everything was basically perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because like I really didn't like that in the movie, where it's like every time there was even like the slightest struggle, he just kind of steps over that hurdle. It's not even like a big one. He kind of just takes a little baby step over, and it's done. Yeah, my wife has a dream. Oh, well, she just gives it up completely, instantly. Just in one night, one moment. Boop.
But she didn't.
No,
she just
didn't.
prioritized his for...
No, but she didn't. She got it in the end, but she didn't know she was going to. For all intents and purposes, she was giving it up for good. In that moment, it was dead. Like,
in that moment, yeah, but I think...
Yeah, exactly, and that's a big choice to be like, oh, my dream, I'm completely letting it go for you. And they kind of just gloss over that.
I'm just gonna give you young people some advice right now.
Oh my god!
So if just based on this movie, like if you want to be an astronaut, Sarah and Riley, you want to open a restaurant, chill on the kids at first, all right?
Oh my god! I was so like, when they were showing the kids scene, I was like, what is wrong with these people? Like, don't you know that you guys have a lot going on? Why do you keep popping out kids? Like,
I think it was a culture thing. I think it's a culture and a religion thing where you just gotta pump out the kids. But I just feel like and speaking to you two and Charlie, if you have a big dream, don't go 5 to 7 kids right now. Wait a little bit.
I don't want
I'll take note. Yeah. I was planning on having 10 kids and also being an astronaut, but I don't know.
Riley, go ahead and give us your favorite character from this movie.
My favorite character, it's hard to pick. I think I have to go with a small role, which was the teacher, and I'm sure like other people enjoyed that as well. I just thought like her role in this was just like perfect. Like, some people need that like one person to believe in them, and especially when they're young, and to give them that like inspiration and say like, your dream isn't, it's not silly. You can do it if you just work hard enough. And like same as Sarah, like watching when she came back before that I'm just getting to my favorite scene already.
Yeah.
Like with her there, I was just like, what? Like, that was just beautiful to me. Like,
her old lady makeup was so bad, I was laughing. So it just ruined it.
Okay, don't focus on that. I mean,
it was just like, it was shocking.
Distracting to you.
Oh my god! And then
I
I
knew you. I
tried
knew
to
you would
see
focus
this,
on
like-
stuff. I knew you'd focus on that, Charlie.
I was trying not to, but for me, it was very shocking. Sorry to steal it
Supposed
from
to
That's
be
all right.
crying so much that you didn't even see the makeup. That's
I think it would have been better if they didn't do makeup. Just put some like dye in her hair, and then. But, oof.
yeah.
Anyway,
But anyway,
Anyway,
Sorry.
I
my
loved her.
favorite character, it was like, I mean, he did a good job, I think, also like the wife, but I'm going for the mom with enchiladas. That was so like very characteristic, and like, you know, I think it was like cute. Like, do you think that will like let him like to bring enchiladas to space?
And she also at some point was like asking him to bring enchiladas to work, and he's like, I don't want to be the enchiladas guy. Mom."
yeah.
yeah, and he was sitting there with that sandwich, like regretting
Yeah,
his
yeah.
decision. Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes, also.
Yeah.
I do you remember the mom's name? I'm trying to look. I think
No.
it was
It's just mom.
Julia. So I believe that was played by Veronica Falcone. I just
Yeah,
want to give
that
her
looks
props.
Was
And
Julia.
Miss Young, we mentioned the teacher,
Yeah.
played by Michelle Krusiak.
Yes,
So I just wanted to give them their shout
Yeah.
out there.
Credit.
Charlie, favorite scene, favorite character?
I liked. Is it Beto?
Beto,
Yeah.
the cousin, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked him. He was good. He
Oh,
felt,
spoiler
alone.
alert, he died.
yeah, he dies.
Right.
It kind of
I
just
don't
pops.
think
That's
I-
another one. It kind of just pops in out of nowhere, which that's just, I guess is what happened. But then it kind of also just, I don't know. Then they just move on from it, and that was like another thing. But anyway, I really liked that character. He felt a little more authentic than some of the others. It felt like he had more of like a history and a story. You see him growing up too. You see him also struggling through school, and you know he has his own family and stuff like that. I don't know. He felt a bit more real than, I don't know. Like I don't like I come back to like the wife. It's like I don't even know what she was doing. Was she working still? Did she stop working? Was she just taking care of the kid? Like we don't even know.
I think she
That's
was,
kind of like-
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
It
she was
wasn't-
taking care of the
it
kid.
wasn't-
Yeah, but we don't know, and that's the kind of stuff that's like it bothers me when it's like there's that scene in the movie where he comes back and she's like kind of mad at him, and she's like, "Oh, it's just me," and I agree with her. The whole movie is just him, and everything is just around him. And like I wish, because her story was very interesting too, you know.
Yeah.
And like the parents, like they sacrificed a lot also, and they kind of just it's just me.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
movie. I would
And
love
I
like
really
have
wish-
more of her part too.
Yeah,
Like
and
more
then
meaning
plus
from
there's
her.
like the dynamic they bring up where his parents are really like, we sacrificed a lot for you, and like they really after that early part they just never bring it up again,
Yeah.
you know. And it's stuff like that where they just kind of, we have to have this moment, but now that we had it, let's just forget about it, you know. That's
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like
It's fine.
yeah, they just had to make it. They were trying to make this a feel good. They didn't want
Yeah.
it to be too heavy.
yeah.
think
And
that's
look, I
what
think
the-
of it like a very like a very sweet like chocolate cake, and it's like you eat it and it tastes good, but you don't really get any substance out of it.
empty calories.
Yeah.
think- To keep that PG rating, they just wanted it to be a good family uplift.
Yeah,
No,
I don't mind it. I still like it, you know. I enjoy
Yeah.
that. And sometimes maybe you do need something just uplifting and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Beto, I just had to say, like, I also liked how he was just so supportive of him, because I feel like sometimes people that have like, I'm not trying to say that there's like a difference or something in levels or something, but I think sometimes it creates like jealousy or animosity between people. And he was just so like supportive. He's like, "You're an engineer, man. Like, I love that for you." He was so happy for him. I thought that was great.
That's what
Yeah,
I
I
said.
do
Like everything was so set up for him to success, you know, because his family, friends, everything. I mean, yeah, he had to work hard. Like I'm not saying that, like putting, you know, but yeah, everything that he could like make it work. It worked.
Yeah, another one of my favorite scenes was the exchange between him and Beto when he gave him the car and then
Yeah.
Beto
Mhm.
gave him his chain. That was
Yeah,
a,
that
that
was
was a
great.
nice little scene.
Yeah.
Did you give a favorite scene, Charlie
No.
or Sarah?
I mean, I have a couple. I think at the beginning when they were mad with Adela, she was like, "I gotta go," and he was like, "Yeah, you gotta go," and she was like, "I gotta go," like, I want a kiss. Like, not reading at all. And it was like, oh my goodness.
He was scared of the dad and the family. The family was great. That whole scene was great. I loved
was
Yes,
funny.
yes.
the
And also
family.
the one that when he like brings up like the 11th application, there's this guy that after his speech starts to applause, and people were like, no, no, no.
That was
That
a
was the
great
thing of
scene.
like 1 second that made me talk like,
Yeah, I guess if we go into things I didn't like, was that scene. He just walked up to NASA, and the guy he needed to meet just happened to be standing right there and knew
Yeah.
exactly who he was. I was like, "Oh, hey, Jose, you've applied 11 times. What are you doing here?"
Yeah, I know.
just
Like
thought
how?
that was a little,
Well, what they get thousands of applicants, but he remembers this one guy.
yeah. And he just happened to be standing there in his full flight suit when he walked through the door.
Yeah, I know. There's nobody else around really either. It's a very big
Yeah.
room.
Any problems you want to talk about from the movie that you had?
The only thing that like I get it was symbolic, but at the end when they put the butterfly in like the spaceship, I was just like, I understand like that was their metaphor that they were using earlier, but for me it actually took me out of the moment. Like I thought it was a big moment, and then that was just a distraction. Like it was already serving its purpose, him being on the space shuttle, like going to space. I didn't like that they added that there.
It was not nonsense to me. It was like like not well like merged with what was happening. No, I didn't like the touch either.
Charlie, do you have anything you want to complain about?
Not really. I mean, I've been.
What?
Oh, really?
I mean, I've been complaining about the things in general.
Yeah.
It's just like a general thing where it's just kind of like it's like all the dialogue. I can complain about like almost all the dialogue. Not all of it, just a lot of it. Where it's just like so. Like think about like every line where someone's like saying something to him. Like half of them are just like inspirational nonsense that you could pull from like any movie.
I think we should start asking Charlie what he likes the most instead of.
And it will be like shorter. Like
we should do positives and negatives. We'll do start
I
all
did do
positives.
Positives.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay,
I like the
Beto,
moments. I like the dynamic they have, and he feels like a good character.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take a wild stab here and say no one wants to see a sequel to this movie. There's nothing really else to cover. Is that correct?
It's good. It served its purpose.
I could see like a not like a real sequel, like a bullshit sequel. He's like in space and they get like abducted or something. Or like it's like a thriller. He comes back from space, but he's like a different person, and they're trying to figure out like what happened in space. The logs are missing and stuff. Yeah. Like
he has an alien inhabiting his body.
Well, you don't know. It's like a thriller. Like he comes home and he's can't quite remember like some of the kids' names, which I don't even know their names. Did they even name the kids?
I don't think he looked up in the air at one point. It's like I have 5 kids. He couldn't remember.
Yeah.
A couple other things I wanted to mention. The engineer dudes he was working with at the beginning. They were just seemed like caricatures of real people. They just didn't seem real to me. Those like mean engineer guys.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they had to have that like hurdle to get over that he just,
Yeah. All right. So this question is for Sarah and Riley. So if you're at home pregnant and your husband comes home and says, "Hey, I'm going to take a job in Siberia," are you going to be like, "Hey, cool, go ahead, and I'll just have the baby while you're in Siberia with these other kids"?
It's like the third baby.
Is the third baby? So it was okay, I guess.
Well, it's after the first 2, is it really that exciting? you tell me, because I don't know.
You know better, Charlie.
I feel like there's no way my wife would have been like, "Yeah, go ahead, that's fine."
I don't know because I've never lived that situation, but I don't think I would be happy about it. But at the same time, I wouldn't be like The Rock on, like to refrain him from like do anything. So
if the opportunity was something that was so important, and also like I think it actually is a slight difference in being like the first kid versus a little bit later. Like I feel like if it's the first kid, it actually is more important to be there. You don't know how it's going to go. Like people react differently.
All right, so you guys seem to be more forgiving and.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy,
Yeah.
but I would feel too bad to like hold someone back from something if it was that important. If it was like I just want to go to Siberia to like do this cool trip, like no. But if
Yeah.
it's actually benefiting your career and your dreams,
And it
it's
seems like they had enough family to cover for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the family were like very
Big
like
family.
together, and they were
Very
like helping a lot.
All right, guys. In the end, are you recommending this movie to friends and family?
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow. Tyler's
Well, like I said, it's like a chocolate cake. Like I'm not gonna not recommend a chocolate cake.
All right.
Is it the best one? No. It's too sweet. But like whatever. Sure, people like cake. Here's a nice cake. It's a good. It's fine. It's good.
Nice. Charlie's recommending this movie to everyone.
Yeah. Have some too sweet cake.
All right. So we're gonna recommend movies from the actors in this movie. So Julio Cedella, who played Salvador, who plays Dad, is in a movie called The Harder They Fall on Netflix, which is a western, and I loved it so much that that's my recommendation. The Harder They Fall on Netflix. What you got from Charlie?
Frankly, I don't really recognize most of these people except for Michael Peña. And like, apparently he's been in a bunch of movies that I've seen, but I don't remember him in those movies. The only one I really remember him in is Ant-Man, and so I don't know.
So, are you recommending Ant-Man?
Well, if you're asking me directly, I guess.
So
like, fine.
So a movie maybe you didn't remember him in the movie, but if you enjoyed the movie, would you rather recommend that over Ant-Man, or just want to recommend what you remember him from?
Well, is that really fair to recommend him in a movie that I don't remember him in at all? Like, what if he was in there for like 5 seconds?
But
You
you
still
love that
recommend the
movie.
Yeah, you're still recommending the movie.
Still recommending the movie. You're not recommending the person. You
Yeah.
recommend the movie the person was in.
That's fair.
Anyway,
Sarah.
I recommend the Maze Runner. The Maze Runner, right? It's the name because Rosa Salazar, the wife, was in there.
Right.
She was also in Bird Box, which was great.
I didn't watch that one yet.
But my recommendation, which is gonna be like, I don't know, Charlie and Contrell are gonna roll their eyes so much at me. Is gonna be Sierra Blue, who's in Never Have I Ever, which is like a Netflix show that's.
First of all, let me just say, you're recommending that show?
I am.
I hate that show so much. That girl is such a pain in the ass. She would have lost all her friends. She's so selfish and self-centered. She
You
is
hate
the
that show.
worst
Sounds like you watched every
friend.
episode.
I made it through the first season. Her boyfriend looks like he's 32 years old and he's supposed to be in high school.
That's a
Paxton.
classic look.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, he's
We can add him to
35. He's older
that's-
than.
We're talking.
Yeah, let's cook.
She can get added to that list.
Oh my gosh, she is such a brat in that show.
I agree.
What's the main character's name? I don't even know her name. The girl who stars in that show. She is so mean to her friends. She never apologizes, and then she comes, "Oh guys, will you take me back because I'm so pretty and I date 2 white guys?" "Oh sure, because we love you." And then, but if you need something, fuck off because I have my 2 white boys. So that's my impression of Never Have I Ever. And if you ever recommend it again, you would be kicked off.
Good part of it. Like, they
Alright.
good job because it you hate the characters, so she's playing well.
Tell me how you really feel.
I hate that show so much. Oh my god, I hate that show. Anyway, did I give? Yeah, I gave my recommendation. Everybody gave a recommendation. All right, I'm done.
Not even my
Sarah-
favorite show, but I'm so happy I recommended it just
Nah,
for that
don't
reaction.
ever say it.
Yeah, that was-
I
that
like
was a
her.
lot.
I like her in the show though. The lady, the blue lady,
Yeah,
who
she's
died on
in
the space
show.
shuttle. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up by doing our shout outs of the week. Do you want to go first, Riley?
Sure. I'm gonna give a kind of sad shout out because we didn't mention it during the podcast, and I feel like we should have at least mentioned it. So just shout out to the Columbia ship because that was really sad, and I remember that happening and everyone was really upset and talking about it and everything. And the fact that that was in the movie, I also felt like anyone watching that like remembered that could even relate more, because I just remember like that day like just being like, everyone's so sad, like this is not good. So I'm just gonna give a little shout out to that all the people that were on that.
Good job.
My shout out goes for all of them that has a goal and wants to accomplish their dreams. So persist, and yeah, I think like it's a good movie, like to give your vibe a little, like have a little high energy, and yeah, have a little hope. So shout out to all the dreamers.
Great. I'm gonna give a shout out to a TV show on Max called I Hate Susie that I just discovered. It's great. It's much better than Never Have I Ever. So
right.
if you want a good show to watch, it's called I Hate Susie.
Maybe I'll watch both of these shows.
You will hate her as much as you hate the girl from Never Have I Ever. All right, go ahead, Charlie.
I'm going to recommend a show also, or not recommend a show. I'm going to shout out a show also, Bob's Burger.
Oh,
14th season, I think? 13th?
14th, 13th, or 14th, yeah.
Whatever, it's back.
Maybe 15th, man.
It's back.
Good show, Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Much better than Never Have I Ever. All right,
I
that's
like
it for this week, guys.
shouted out these like serious things,
motivational
and you guys
things.
are like, I hate Susie, Bob Burgers.
This
We're
was
a
playing.
diverse
This
group
was
here.
playing before your. Maybe I should have had you go last, and it was playing before your sad.
good, all
tribute.
good.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, guys. Next week's movie is called Gran Turismo, and we will see you then. For Charlie, Riley, Sarah, thanks for joining us. See you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.